5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Sydney Reflect, Rakesh.
Thank you so much for having me here.
It's so nice to have you here. Since I've
Yeah,
been
it's my
here,
pleasure.
since I've met you, you remember how we met actually?
Yeah, I do remember.
It's a it's a
I
story in
think
itself,
I think I was doing a movie called The Return of Warren Murphy,
Yes, that was the
and
movie.
I needed some because one of my AD he just called sick or something at the for the shoot, so
Mm.
I need someone who can assist me and also help us as a assistant director.
Mm-hmm.
Then I posted it on Facebook page on Australia, Osmandu, and
Osmando, I
I
think it
think
is Osmando, yeah.
Osmandu, and then there was another one, Winner Circle. So I
Yes.
posted on both of those pages, and I think you were the first guy who called me, and then we
Yeah.
connected, exchange number, and we made I think
Yeah.
that was a very good experience.
Yeah, bro. I was kind of just free out there, and I've always wanted to be in films and be a part of movies. And that's how I've been, I guess. Whenever I see an opportunity, I just want to go out there and just take it. The thing was, I was going out of the city. That was the main thing, Nelson's Bay. And the thing was, I was getting involved in the movie because I never been a part of the movie before that. That was my first experience to go out in the set and actually see how it works and how everything is done. So that was a great experience for me, bro. Thank you for that, actually.
No, that's all good. It was a great help, from you as well,
Mhm.
because you know all the basics of filmmaking and everything, because I saw your blogs and everything as well. So I
Yeah.
knew you are the right guy, and you will be a great help for us as well.
Yeah, thank
It's
you
all
very
about
much, bro.
learning.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. It was all about learning and stuff like that. So how have you been, man? How is Canberra right now? It's in the lockdown, right?
Yeah, it's I think second day of lockdown, but
Uh-huh.
it's not very harsh like NSW. So we are allowed to go 1 hour, for exercise. We can
Mm.
go for medical things, groceries and everything. So not very bad.
What's the case numbers like out there? Any idea?
I don't know about today, but
Mm.
yesterday it was 1. So first
Okay.
day it was 6,
Mm-hmm.
second day it was 1. So today, let me have a look. I was going to check, but was busy today, so I haven't
That's
checked.
nice, man. If it's only one, that's very nice because we are having yesterday it was 400 and something as far as I
Yeah, I
know.
saw that one.
So it's I don't know. I think this variant is just it's easily transferable. I don't say it's much harmful in the sense that we haven't seen a lot of deaths. So I think somehow Aussies are much more immune than other countries. But there has been a lot of case of transfers, but not many deaths. So I think that's a good news in itself.
It looks like they don't have any cases because they
Huh?
haven't posted anything.
Okay.
I can't see any post about that one. Oh no, actually two new cases.
Okay, that's not bad. Two, it's kind of less.
So it's 9 in total now.
That's nice to know, bro. That's nice to know. Stay safe. That's all I have to say to you is in this pandemic situations. Let's start with your journey out here in Australia because you are an international student and this podcast is mostly related to international student and about inspiring them. So tell us about your journey. How was it being an international student? When did you come in and what have you learned so far being an international student?
So first at all, when I first came to Australia, all the other people, I thought because how we treat other countries, we are always taught we are a very small country, we are underdeveloped or maybe developing country, and we always think the people who are in abroad, in Australia or UK or USA, whatever countries they are superior one, they are rich countries, we always become fascinated by their lifestyle and everything. So, and I think even now I have seen most of the people whenever they see some foreigners, white people particularly, so they will be more respectful, and they will be more into them, so
Yeah.
they won't treat you as if you see some Indian or maybe Sri Lankan or other, so the way they treat them and the way treat the white people will be totally different.
Totally different.
So
It is.
they won't, then they will never treat both the people as the same. I don't know if it's racism or if it's the
Mm,
culture or the way we were taught before or something like that. I don't know. So it is what it is, like, so
yeah,
this is perception of 90% of the people who are in Asia.
it is. It
And I
is.
have yeah, so when I first came to Australia, I have a same perception. I thought like I used to be humble. I never say no to anything. Like
Mm-hmm,
I thought like, so if I'm working with someone, I thought like I can't say no. I have to say yes all the time
mm-hmm,
because I'm working for them and they're paying me.
mm-hmm.
Even when I was sick, I was working. I didn't
Yeah.
even. So I tried to call sick, but they said, "Can you please come because we are sort of people and we don't have any alternative." And I said yes. I never say no.
Yeah, because that's
So
your
that
humble.
was, yeah, that not humble. Like I don't know,
Mm-hmm,
because this was our culture. Like so, whereas in Australia, so even if people doesn't want to go, they will just call sick
mm-hmm,
normally. So as I stay here for a long time and as I got to know about much people,
mm-hmm,
then I realized like every person in the world is same.
mm-hmm.
Okay, so if I respect this person, then I have to respect that person as well. So all
Exactly.
the person in the world deserves same respect. No one is like highly qualified or
Mm-hmm,
something like that. It could be anyone, like someone from Nepal might be highly qualified from the Aussie guy in
mm-hmm.
Australia, or
Of
maybe
course.
some from IT guy from USA. You never know like who is more qualified or who is more talented. So how people are judging, like judges is like,
Mm-hmm.
so they will see their skin first, not the
Yeah.
talent. That's the main problem.
Yeah.
Like uh, any sector, if you go to any sector, so if any Aussie guy is working in Australia,
Mm-hmm.
I'm in Australia, so I'll mostly talk about the Aussie people.
Of course.
So if Aussie people is doing like some job, they will be paid like $100 per hour,
Mm-hmm.
and people won't even ask a question why. But if any Asian people will go and try to get job in same amount,
Mm-hmm.
they will never get that one.
Yeah, I think because they are the citizens of here and they get the first priority, that makes sense. But when you say that how we respect more to the people from white collar, I think that's because where we come from, like for I remember like being a child and I used to work in like a Christian school. So there used to be visitors like once in a year where people used to come from either America or from different places, whoever were donating money for our school. And we used to think like we used to do a lot of things just to like impress them or to show them from the very childhood,
Mm.
like it's like kind of a different thing, different lifestyle. We've always thought that people from America are like have higher status. I think it depends upon where we come from.
Yeah, that's why I just said like
Yeah.
90% of the people have the same perception. So that's why like they will never try to like compete with anyone else.
Hmm.
They will never have a courage of competing with those people because they will always think like, so they are the superior and
Hmm.
we are like not bit
Like
superior than
inferior
them.
than them.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
inferior, but like bit less.
Like
So
yeah.
that's the problem. And so when I like as time goes, as I grew up and
Hmm.
start learning the culture and environment, and I knew like, so everyone is same, as I already mentioned, like everyone is same. And then I think all the people like in Nepal, they should know that
Mm.
you are like as same level as anyone else in the world. If someone is from
Absolutely.
Europe or America, you don't have to be like number two or number three. You are
Mm.
number one. You can be as good as them. I think everyone should have that mentality. And even like all our like teachers and everyone in the school, they should teach like you can compete with anyone in the world. Like they should have that
Absolutely.
mentality, I think.
That's a great way to look at it, bro. I have never seen it like that, but that's a great way to look at it. I think that is something what actually holds us back from trying things out here in Australia. We talk about this a lot, where we talk things like how there are so many opportunities out here in Australia, but students don't go out and grab them. And I think whatever you said, I think that is one of the reasons what holds us back. We have decided from the very beginning that the people out here, especially people who are living here, people from white skin, are somehow better than us. We have somehow had that belief from the very childhood. And I think that is one of the reasons why is holding us back from doing things. But as you said, it's not like that. Also, the thing is that when we come in here, it's lack of confidence. Maybe that's what doesn't help us go in front and do things. But as you said, it is also kind of a belief that we had from the past, which holds us back. Yeah, that's a great way to look at it, bro.
You're
Man.
absolutely right.
That's a great
Absolutely
message to anyone out there, like who's trying to come here or who's already here. Like, we're all the same. We are at the same level. Maybe we're not, in a sense, in a different field, but we can always learn that. It's about gaining those skills, right?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
So that is the thing. Like as you said, like lack of confidence.
Mhm.
Lack of confidence. Why there is a lack of confidence? Because from your my mental thing, you already thought like that guy is superior than me, or that guy is like much more like talented than me. So if you already have that in mentality, then you lose your confidence in the first round. So there is no other like
Yeah, we need to
chance
change
you can
our
compete with
mindset
anyone
in
else.
that terms.
Yeah.
That's a great way to look at it. That's a good way to know.
Yeah, another example why I'm saying this is,
Mhm.
so most of the people who comes from Nepal,
Mm.
they don't even try to like apply for the jobs, like maybe some administrative jobs or some
Any kind of
office
professional
jobs or
jobs.
anything. They won't even try because they think like, oh no, they won't give the job to me.
Yeah,
And I like, you didn't even apply for any sort of job, so how can you be sure like you won't get the job? If
exactly.
you apply for the job, if you face the interview, then like you will get the job. But if you don't even like don't have a confidence to apply in the job online, then how do you gonna get the job? So that's why most of the people like end up doing like cleaning, housekeeping, and those kind of job, because they think like doing those job are easier. Like you can just get referred from your friend and just keep starting the job. You can do any job like in Australia, you can apply for
Yeah,
any job.
exactly, bro. We are somehow limited, like to our own culture and our own mentality. Like, we ask for suggestions from the people who are already in that mindset or in that situation that they can't do anything else. So we should be very careful who do we take advice from or who do we stick around, because as they say, you become what you surround yourself with. So you need to be very careful whose advice are you taking.
Yeah, no, I think most of the people, they want to be comfortable. That's a bad
Exactly.
thing,
They don't want to
be
get out of comfort zone.
Yeah. So whenever they arrive to Australia, they find the houses with the same community. Like if someone is from Nepal, they will try to find someone who is from Nepal as well, so they can live together in the same house.
I did that, bro. Everyone
Don't
does
do
that.
that.
I
Like
did
don't
that.
do that. I will say like everyone does that. Me as well. I did that as well. So whoever is like trying to come to Australia or going any country, like don't stay with the same people, like with the same culture. Like you already know all the culture anyway. What else you gonna know? Nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
So go with someone else, like live with some like other countries, like maybe from Malaysia, Singapore, Japan, Korea, make friends like from different like countries. So you will get to learn from those countries, like their thoughts, what their mentality is, what they are planning, so that we can like get some idea as well from them. Like you'll get like more confident. You won't be comfortable maybe, but I can assure that like you will be more confident in your life.
Yeah, you will learn differently. I have lived like that. Like when I came in, I first, of course, stayed with the people from my own community, but in a time of 3 to 4 months, I moved out. And when I came in here, before I came here, I lived in 2 places. I lived with people from India, Sri Lanka. I lived from people from like Korea. One of them was from Japan, I think. They were for short periods. Then I actually moved out here in Redfern. And the main goal why I was here was because I wanted to actually get out of that comfort zone within my community and actually come here and actually talk to Aussie people in a day-to-day basis, because that is also a good way to improve my English, to improve my knowledge, to improve my confidence, because when I came in here first, it was very hard for me to understand what Aussie people were talking about, because some of them talk really fast and some of them use a lot of jargons or their slangs, which makes us not understand them. But when I came in here and I lived with Aussie people, that's when I learned about their culture. That's when I learned about their slangs. That's when I was more comfortable to go out and actually talk with other Aussie people, like other people. So it's always a great, Australia is a place where this is a world in itself, because there are people from all around the world here in Australia. So I always say this
Yeah,
to
you're
any
right.
Indian student: go out there, explore the culture, know more people. You can know the world by just being in this one country.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying as well. Like,
But it's hard, man. It's hard to get people to understand that, as students,
and
especially.
and the other thing, like, it's easy to say but hard to do.
Exactly. That's another
Everything like.
thing. Exactly. It's easier said than done, of course. That's the thing. Getting out of your comfort zone.
Hmm.
It's hard. It's hard to change yourself. It's hard to change things that you have been doing from the very early childhood, like we say, like Nani Dehiko Bani. It's hard to get rid of that.
Yeah, it is like, so you have lots of opportunity here. Like, you are out of your country. So
Mm,
you are here to gain some experience, knowledge, and you have like lots of opportunity here. You just have to
mm,
grab the opportunity. That's it.
yeah. And as Lucas said, you miss 100% of the opportunities you don't take.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you need to grab any and every opportunity you want to take in this life. So let's talk about your journey now as a photographer and videographer. When did you start? Like, when did you get into like
Um,
photography and videography?
so back in Nepal, like, I used to work as a graphic designer,
Okay.
and I was always like fascinated about, like, the work of photographers and videographers, because I used to edit their pictures for posters and pamphlets, everything like
Mm-hmm.
that. So I used to make brochures and everything. So every time, like, they bring the pictures to me, and it was like so impressive. I
Mm-hmm.
always thought of learning like photography, but never really got time because I was studying as well and I was working as well.
Mm-hmm. So you
So,
were studying
and
and
you,
working both back in Nepal.
yeah, I was
Oh,
working in
okay.
two different places, and I was working in two different places, and also I was studying. So my
That's
bachelor's
nice.
degree, like,
Because with most of us, like even with me, till the bachelor's, I wasn't working anywhere. I was just studying.
I think I started working when I was around 18, 19. So
Okay.
when I was 18 or 19 years old, uh, I was working as a computer instructor. I used to
Mm-hmm.
teach like graphic designing, like basic office packages, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe what the order, like programming and things as well. So when I was 18 or
Mm-hmm.
19.
That's nice. That's great because that should have helped you a lot being here and being a student and working at the same time. Because that's one of the problem with most international students, that they have never done that before. Like work and study at the same time.
Oh yeah.
That must have been easier for
No,
you that way, right?
yeah, working wasn't like hard for me because I even work like more than like 20 hours in
Mm-hmm.
Nepal. Even in Nepal, like, I used to work more than 20 hours. So when I was doing my bachelor's degree,
Mm-hmm.
so I have a college from 5, I think 5:30 or 6, I don't remember, but like around 5:30 to 10.
Mm-hmm. In
So
the
I have a
morning.
college, yeah, in the morning. And from 11 a.m. till like, oh no, no, from 10
Mm-hmm.
to 5, I was doing internship in bank. In Everest Bank, I was doing internship.
Okay.
And from 6 p.m. till like 2 a.m. in the morning, I was working in a uh, as a graphic designer in like a pre-press. So they
Okay.
used to do newspaper and things. We used to
Mm-hmm.
make plates, like aluminum plates for
Mm-hmm.
the newspapers. So I was working for them, and I just got like 2-3 hours to sleep. So from
Mm-hmm.
2 a.m. to 4 a.m., 2 hours, 3 hours, I used to sleep, and then go back to college again. And I used to sleep in the college.
How long did you do that for? Like how many years?
I think I did not for years. I did
Okay.
for, I think, 2 weeks or something.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got something in my eyes, like my eye was this big because I wasn't sleeping properly. So I have to
Okay.
have a minor surgery for my eye because I
Uh-huh.
wasn't sleeping properly. And then I thought, like, no, this is not happening. And I leave the banking internship and
Uh,
just doing like graphic designing and study. That's it.
okay. Cool. And what happened after that? How did you get into photography after that?
Oh yeah. So I was working in a pre-press, that's already said, like,
Mm,
that 6 to 2 a.m. job. Then after I left that job,
mm,
I started working in one advertising agency,
mm-hmm,
again as a graphic designer. But
mm.
that advertising agency used to make video commercials as well,
Oh, okay.
video commercials and music videos as well. So luckily, like, I used to have a bike.
Mm,
So I think they were shooting some cover photos for Asta Raut for her debut music video.
Mm-hmm.
And so they need one person because someone is in a car, some photographers were in, makeup artists were in car, and they need someone to carry some one person. Like there was one
Mm-hmm.
extra person who doesn't have their own vehicle.
Okay.
So he has to I have to go there with them just to take them. Like, so we were doing that in Godavari. So
Mm-hmm.
so I have to drive him to Godavari just with everyone else, like all the crew members. So I thought like it's all right because I don't have to work anyway. So
Mm-hmm.
I just went there. I was just sitting there, just help a little bit, and I was just sitting in the corner and watching them doing all this stuff. And it was fun. Like, and I thought like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
so this is how they do photo shoot and everything. I was like really fascinated. I was so impressed with their photos and everything. Then
Mm-hmm.
after the shoot, we came to the office, downloaded everything on our computer and watched all the photos, and they were like super 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 good. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think that photographer was like really talented guy. I don't
Okay.
remember his name, but like he was super talented. Like
Mm-hmm.
I saw the photos and I was like so impressed, and I already had a mind like one day I will try to take something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then I started like getting involved in how they start making videos and everything as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I had in a mind like, okay, let's learn videography. No, I wanted to learn editing first, video editing. So for to learn video editing, I need some footage, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought like, let's make a short film so that I can edit. And
Okay.
with all my cousins, I made one short movie. That's on YouTube as well. Maybe
Okay.
one day I'll send you the link. So
Okay.
I just had a handy cam. So with the
Mm-hmm.
handy cam, I was shooting that short film. And I saw that like short film to
Mm-hmm.
uh,
What was it about actually? What was it
it
about?
was about the education system, like how like, our parents like force us to study all the time.
Uh-huh.
And at the end, like when they try him to study harder, but he fails the exam and
Mm-hmm.
he suicides at the end.
Okay.
The message was like, don't force your kids to study,
Yeah,
let
that's
them
nice
like,
message. Because it is
we
also
tried, but like,
reality.
yeah,
It is
it
also
is,
reality because I remember a lot of people suicided just because they couldn't get proper marks in SLC. There had been cases like that.
yeah, there has been like, I think maybe from some news or something I got that idea and I made
Yeah.
this story.
Mhm.
It's so it meant to be like inspiring, but it's very funny because
Mhm.
I was very amateur at the time. It
Amateur.
was my first thing. I don't even know how to handle the camera that time, and
Uh,
we were doing the camera thing. So that was my first ever edited video on Premiere. I
mhm.
never used Premiere before, so
Uh-huh.
that was the first time I was editing something on Premiere, and with the background music and everything, like random music. You should watch the one day. Like it's very
It's
funny.
fun, man. It's fun, bro. It's like even with my videos, if I look back, there are lots of funny things out there, but that's how you learn. You need to start somewhere. It's not about how good is it going to be if you have the resources or that. It's about going out there and actually doing it because that's how you learn.
Yeah. So continuing about the journey.
Yeah.
So when I finished that doing short films and everything, so I
Mhm.
came to Australia. Like so, the same time I came to Australia, like same year.
Okay.
Then
Which year was that?
when I came to 2013.
13. Okay, it's been long.
Yeah.
7, 8 years, man. Come on.
Oh yeah, around
Ah, all right.
8, 9 years. 8 years. Yeah.
It is.
So then I applied for like graphic designing and other jobs as well in
Mhm.
like Sydney, and I actually got the job as well, like as a graphic designer.
Mm.
But the worst thing was, so that guy, I passed the interview and everything. So that guy said like, we can pay you $14 per hour, and
Okay.
we can give you 2 days a week shift.
Mm.
And I have a interview same day for kitchen hand job,
Okay.
and where they said we can give you 5 days a week, and
Mm.
we'll pay you $21 something on weekdays, and on weekends 25 or $30 something like that.
Of
And I
course.
was like, why would I do like graphic designing job if I'm getting
Exactly.
paid
That's what I
more?
mean.
So, and I quit that, like I rejected that graphic designing job, and I started working as a kitchen job.
Mm.
And even in my kitchen, like, so the owner of the kitchen, I think he was somehow related to filmmaking and everything.
Mm,
So
okay.
every month or something like that. So they always have shoot like sometime commercials, sometime like short movies.
Mm-hmm.
So they always hire our restaurant to shoot like those videos. And I was like, from like even from Nepal, like I was always, you know, keen about like videography and photography. Then after looking at them for, years,
Mm-hmm.
so for first few years, my first priority was like to pay my bills and pay
Mm-hmm.
my uni
Of
fees and
course, of
everything.
course.
So I wasn't like, I don't even have money to buy a camera and everything,
Mm.
because I have loans to pay in Nepal and
I
everything.
still have that.
So I was just keep working, like I was keep working. So when I reached to that level when
Mm.
um, I don't have to pay the uni fee and everything, then I decided to get the camera and everything. And
Mm.
actually, I was looking at the cameras online all the time, and my wife saw that.
Mm.
So on my birthday, actually, she bought my first camera.
Okay.
That was 70D and with
Uh-huh.
18 to 35, 135 kit lens and 50 mm uh, prime lens. So that was my first camera.
Uh-huh.
So even after I bought the camera, I thought like, okay, so like everyone, I thought like, okay, I have a DSLR now. I'm
Mm.
gonna be like professional photographer.
Professor would.
And I went with the camera, first day, took the picture of flowers, took
Mm.
picture of my uncle, like whoever I made, friends, blah, 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 keep taking pictures. And after like few weeks, I was bored with the camera. So I was still working in the kitchen. So that time I was working as a demi chef in the kitchen.
Mm.
And so I have a camera and everything, but after a week, I never used that camera.
Mm.
I used that once for my wife's graduation.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I never used that camera, never even touched the camera. Like for, I think 1 or 2 years, I never even touched the camera.
Uh-huh.
So what happened was, after working like, I think about around 4 years in the kitchen,
Mm.
I realized that, so this is not what I want to do rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I love doing photography and videography, but because of my full-time job, I used to work around 60 to 70 hours per week
Mm.
in the kitchen. My contract says 38 hours per week, but like I used
Story
to
of
work,
story of most of us.
60 to 70. Yeah, 60 to 70 hours per week.
Mhm.
So I never got time even to check the camera where it was.
Mm.
So when I finally decided, like, so when my like, uni and everything finished, my wife was studying at the time, uni
Mm.
and everything was finished, then I thought like, okay, I went to Bali for a week.
Mm-mm. Okay.
And then I just relaxed there. And then I realized, like, keep realizing what I wanted in life, because I was peacefully thinking at the time. And then I realized, okay, so either I will do graphic designing
Mm.
or photography. I won't be going back to the kitchen again.
Mm.
So as soon as I came back from my holiday,
Mm-hmm.
and I just quit the job. So I
Okay.
was working full time there for 3 years,
Mm.
3 to 4 years. I was working full time, and I just quit the job. And I keep applying for a graphic designing job.
Mm-hmm.
And I got again, I got one job as well, but it was internship, like not the paid job,
Mm.
but it was all right because I got to learn.
Mm.
Then what happened was, so one of my friend, she was studying fashion designing.
Mm.
And she said, you have DSLR, so why don't you take some pictures of mine?
Mm-hmm.
And I told her, like, I just bought the camera, but I don't even know how to take a picture properly.
Mm-hmm.
I never done any photo shoot before. I just took
Which
friends'
year
pics
was
and
this?
things.
Which year was this?
It was around 17, I guess, 16, 17.
17. Okay.
16, 17.
Mm.
So then I realized, like, okay. And then she asked me to take a picture. So I said yes. And then I told her, like, it won't be good.
Mm.
Don't, you know.
Yeah, it's good to know your limits. You
Yeah,
know your limits.
yeah,
Very well.
I said to her, like,
Yeah.
before. But those photos turned out very good.
Mm.
It was above my expectation. And I realized, I thought, like, okay, since I took the picture, why not so let's see, like, what other photographer will evaluate about the picture,
Mm.
So I sent those picture to some of the photographers who were very established photographer at the time in Sydney.
Mm-mm.
So one of them, like, Suren's photography, one of them was Suren's photography.
Mm-mm.
So I texted him and sent the picture and said, can you please tell me how it is?
Mm.
I just
So
casually
you,
sent him the
so
picture.
you didn't know that guy. You just sent
No,
him
I
random.
didn't know, because I saw his pictures on Facebook and I really like his pictures. So I thought like, let's see how professional photographer will, judge my picture. I just wanted to see that one because I have seen that things on YouTube, like so many professional photographers do that thing. Like if you email pictures to them, they will judge the pictures
Comment
and give
on
you some
your pictures.
feedbacks. Yeah, feedbacks and everything. So I sent my pictures to Suren bro, and he checked my picture and he said like, okay, so you have to follow rule of third, blah blah blah, so this picture is
Basics.
distracting, this is this is that, and he keeps saying that one. And so after that, I think one of my friend asked for another photo shoot as well, and I said him same thing, like I can do it because I think that was her maternity.
Okay.
I said like, I think you should do the professional one because I just did one photo shoot with my friend and that's it. I have never done anything. And she's like, no, I have seen your pictures. You really did, because I posted that picture on Facebook and everything. And they said, oh, we have seen that picture. Like that picture was more than good for us. And they're like, okay, if you can make like as good as that picture, then we are fine. I was like, okay. Then I took their pictures as well. Again, I sent that pictures to Suren bro, and again, he gives some suggestions on that picture as well. And then one day, like Suren bro asked me like, would you like to do some event photography with me? And I was like, yeah, 100%. Why not?
Yeah.
And he asked me like, what camera do you have? I said, I have 70D. But he said, if you want to do events, you need to have some full frame camera.
Yeah.
So he asked me to buy like 60 cameras. But I thought like, if I'm getting a camera, why not get the best one in the market? So that time 5D Mark III and 1DX were the best one, but 1DX was very expensive. So I bought like 5D Mark III and 24-70 2.8 like L lens. Yeah. So, and then I started like working with him. So first one, I remember like first shoot, it was very impressive. Like he was even impressed, you have done a great job. And then second one, I don't know, I was overconfident or something. Second one was, I think, the worst pictures I ever take. And then after like that was the worst picture like I ever take, like second one.
What was that? Like, an event or what?
Yeah, I think it was someone's first birthday.
Okay.
Some first birthday or rice feeding. I still have that pictures on my computer because I was there to see like, what I did wrong on the pictures. Lighting wise, composition wise, everything was like so bad.
Very bad.
Yeah. So yeah, I started working with him, and then I thought like, okay, I did 2 shoots, and one of the professional photographer thinks I am a good photographer. He asked me to do his events. So why not apply for photography job? Then I started applying on like online for photography job. But luckily I got interview for the company called MSP Photography.
Okay.
I went there, give interview, but failed the interview because I was giving all the wrong answers. I wasn't quite prepared for the interview, but somehow I gave the interview and I was rejected. But I was keep applying. I was applying for other jobs as well, and then so I got another interview from different company, which was TSP, the school photographers, and luckily I got the job on that company. And yeah, so that how like my photography started. And currently I'm still working as a photographer. So I work for TSP Photography for 4 years.
Okay.
And now I came to Canberra and I'm working for MSP Photography.
Again,
the company that rejected me in 2017.
That's the story to talk about. Come on.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. If you try hard enough, you get where you want to get, And how about your own photography, summer photography? When did you start that?
Oh, yeah. I just do it casually, like, just casually. But like when I was in Sydney, I was mostly working for student photography. I never do it by I never take like any events privately. That's how like people doesn't know me and my pages because I never did from my page. Like 90% of the time I was doing for someone else.
Okay.
And that guy like Suren Dai, so he insisted me to join like filmmaking course, and we together did like 6 month. No, not 6 months. I think it was 3-month filmmaking course. So we did filmmaking course from Sydney base. Okay. And that's how I met Luke, Stefan, Pedro, and everyone. So that's how everyone as well now.
Yeah.
So
That's
we
how you got
made
into
there.
filmmaking.
Yeah. So we made a movie called Bad Priest. We started with that one.
Yeah, I saw that.
So that's how my filmmaking journey started as well.
Hmm. So now you are like a photographer, videographer, and a filmmaker too.
Yeah, now currently I'm working as a photographer. Like my job is photography, and I do like events and everything as well. I do music videos, short
Mm.
movies, like mostly everything. Commercials. We have we did some commercial videos as well for
Mm.
races, OD. You
Yeah,
work with me as well for a few
yeah, yeah.
times. I don't know how many days you work, but
Yeah,
like
I didn't work. I just came there for. What happened with the Rasis, by the way? Did you actually complete the project, or what happened with that?
because of like this COVID and everything.
Mm.
So because how they used to solve and everything changed
Yeah.
in their menu and everything. So we just stopped that one.
So it was never completed, that project.
Nah, never completed.
Okay, that's sad.
Yeah, that's sad. Like COVID.
Yeah,
What can I do?
COVID has caused a lot of problems for a lot of people. Even with me, as I said, I've been hiring this lens and paying for this lens every month, but I haven't been able to go out and do any work. That's
Yeah,
sad.
that's the bad thing
But
as well.
yeah, like listening to your story, what I can see in a lot of parts, which most people wouldn't do, is like taking risks, like going out there and actually buying the camera, instead of just buying a normal camera, you bought like a proper camera. And also about the rejection, just because you were rejected in a place doesn't mean you give up on that. You kept on trying. You kept on trying in different field, in different ways. Of course, for the first few years, you weren't able to do that because being a student, it's hard to manage everything. But with most people, even after we finish our study, we are somehow again in our comfort zone. We are stuck with whatever job we have. We are getting a certain amount of pay, and we don't want to follow our passion, or we don't want to try anything else. But you did all of that, and you're still working as a photographer and videographer. It's a great story to know, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Did you, have you ever had like a pressure either from your wife or from your parents? Because where we come from, mostly our parents would always force us to do a proper job, either become a doctor or an engineer, do a 9 to 5 job, do anything that helps you, that is actually settled. But whereas photography, videography, these things, now it's much better. Now there are a lot of scope for that. But I think when we come from, or even now in most of the senses, it's hard to find a proper job or get settled with photography and videography, right? So did you had any kind of like pressure from
No,
parents?
actually what's the case is like, so the photography job I do,
Mm-hmm.
so I used to work Monday to Friday,
Mm-hmm.
like a full-time job. So it
Okay.
was never a casual thing. So
Mm-hmm.
because of that one, if I was doing maybe freelancing photography or videography,
Mm-hmm.
then there might be a problem or something like that. I might quit at some time,
Mm-hmm.
because right now, like I don't have any job. Seriously telling, because of the COVID, like all the events canceled.
Mm-hmm.
So I had like bookings for 5 or 6 booking for August.
Okay.
Everything canceled because of COVID.
That's sad.
And even the other job, like the photography job, is quiet right now. So yeah, if this was the situation when I started, then I'm not sure, like I might quit or I might be still doing it. But like, so when I started photography, I was working Monday to Friday, and I was working full-time photographer.
Yeah.
So I was working for someone else, like for a company. So
yeah, but you had a full-time job, so that would have been easier for you. Even then, were your parents always supportive with this? Did they have dull thoughts about it?
I think they were actually happy. Like I asked them once, like I said them like, okay, I got the job as a photographer, and my parents we knew like you were talented, and we knew like you can do anything in any field. Like they were like confident
supportive
about me.
of that.
I don't know. Yeah, they were supportive, and they were like even confident. I even called them like when I was going for the interview. I said, today I have an interview for photography job, but I haven't done, because I never learned photography anywhere. The first thing, I never learned photography. Whatever I learned was from YouTube and by practice. That's it. And so after doing just 2 events, I applied for like those jobs,
Yeah.
and I actually like got the interview. Like one interview already rejected. So for
Mm.
a second interview, I was like a bit nervous as well, because this time I wanted to get the job. I don't want to get
Mm.
rejected. So I was talking with my parents as well, and they were like, "No, no, you will get the job. Don't worry.
Mm.
We know." They're like, "Okay." Then I got more confident as well, and I just
Yeah.
went there, had an interview, got the job. Yeah, that
That's
was,
great
I
to
think, one of the
know.
best moment. Like I never thought like the guy from Nepal
Mm.
who doesn't even know like basics of photography. That time I don't even saw the lights and everything. Like I don't even
Mm.
know how to use off-camera flashes and everything. I know literally nothing.
Mhm.
I think whoever recruited me, if he saw the video, he will be surprised. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, but that was like
Because you're
bit
confident
surprising.
about
That's why I said
yourself.
like, yeah, that's why I said to everyone like, don't underestimate yourself. Just go and apply for jobs. Like doesn't matter if you don't know. Like if you just know the basics and everything, you
Mm.
go to the job, work for them, and you will learn from the work. Like
Yeah.
so, whatever photography things I learned, so most of the thing I learned from work, like while working. So I
Mm.
started doing events. I started learning how to use flash and lights and everything. I started doing like school photography. I learned how to organize people, how to
Mhm.
manage people, how to
Mm.
do like photography professionally, how to use off-camera flashes, how
Mm.
to build a studio, everything. Like so, those things I learned after I got the job. I didn't learn first and
Mhm.
then got the job.
Exactly.
I
That's what.
got the job and learned from the job. Yeah,
Yeah, it comes back to the same thing. Like, do not miss an opportunity. If you get it,
yeah.
grab it and learn it. But I think,
You never know. Like
yeah, but I think overall it just comes down to the point that how much are you passionate about it? Like at the end of the day, for some people, it's just like a shiny object syndrome where they see people like working as a photographer and videographer and they just think it's so fancy to be like a photographer, videographer. But if you don't have passion for it, I don't think you go out, like, as you said, you learn by yourself. And that's because you had
yeah,
passion
yeah.
for it.
No, it was
Even.
very hard. Like I will
Mhm.
say my learning process. So I always love like so most the photos I was impressed with while I was working
Mhm.
as a graphic designer were mostly long exposure photography,
Mhm.
those things. Like so one of the photographer,
Waterfalls
yeah,
and stuff.
waterfalls with long exposures and everything. So I was always surprised because with our normal cameras and everything you won't be able to take that pictures, because it's something different like
Mhm.
for
Of
normal
course,
people.
there's a
Like
lot of technicalities in it.
yeah, technicalities on that one.
Yeah.
So I was always like, when I looked at picture, wow, this is the light trails going on everywhere.
Mhm.
How can you take the picture like that? And so back then when I was in Nepal, like we didn't have faster internet and everything.
Mhm.
So even if I have to sort something, like it takes time.
You had to go
So
to a
learning
cyber.
from YouTube, yeah, learning from YouTube was like bit slow process that
Yeah.
time. And connecting internet at home was very expensive as well,
Mhm.
and we can afford that one. Like so I never, like I always wanted to learn, but like, never went into that one. Like I just like,
Mhm.
it's all right. One day I will learn anyway. I
It
had
wasn't that
that in
easy
mind.
back then. Nah.
Nah, it wasn't. But I used to do like photography in Nepal as well.
Mhm.
But it's, I don't know if I consider that as photography or things, because on my interview I said the same thing. Like I used to work as a photographer in Nepal and everything,
Uh-huh.
which is true. So I used to make identity cards,
Uh-huh.
identity
Uh-huh.
cards for
Yeah.
schools. So
Yeah.
I have 3 to 4 schools that I annually make identity card. So
Mhm.
which I was doing like freelancing. So I was working as a graphic designer.
Mm.
So I know how to make ID cards and everything. I know where we can print it in a cheaper price, everything. So I was making ID cards for 3 to 4 schools.
Mm.
And for that one, we need to take pictures of each and every kids. So I
Mm.
used to go to the school, bring a small like backdrop,
Mhm.
which
Mhm.
was like 2 meter cloth from like
Mm.
some random shop, just stick with the tapes and
Uh,
take picture with just the sunlight, not even like,
mhm. Not even
not
from
even any
lights.
light or anything.
Uh-huh.
So I used to stand near the window,
Mm.
and then from the natural light I used to take a picture. That's it. So I said the same thing. Like they asked me like, have you done any sort of school photography? I said, yeah, I used to do
Mm.
I used to do portraits for school. Like I used to make ID cards, so I used to have
Mm.
take pictures all the time. And like, because I applied for school photography as well,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
somehow it was related and I got the job. Like so one more like thing, like, so if someone is writing CV or something like that, don't forget to mention like even a small work you did back in your country or anywhere, like maybe it's a voluntary job or anything, just mention those things, like if it's appropriate.
Yeah, exactly. It matters, even if it's
Yeah.
not appropriate. Sometimes it helps people to see how, like, even with the different jobs, if you're applying for a photography job, but if there is something else that not photography, but that somehow shows that you are able to interact with people properly, it shows that you are able to manage time properly. You should always put that in your CV and resume, because it's always a plus point to have that.
Yeah. For example, like, so if you are maybe captain for like some football club or something, or just team member of the football, like if you play football in Nepal, so if you're applying for some team member in Coles or Woolies, you can write in the CV as well. I used to be a team member in a football team, and you can tell like I used to you say I was a team player, I used to cooperate with the team and everything. So that is football, that is work, but somehow it is related. You are a team member anyway, so nothing is like, you can relate those things. If you can relate those things, then it will make your CV even more impressive.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. You should put in whatever you shows that you are better than someone else. That's the thing about having a CV. But it also should be like appropriate according to, like whatever job you're applying for. You need to have a CV according to that, based on that. I haven't applied for like photography jobs, actually. I'm just trying to do it on my own. I don't know if it's a good idea or not. You have been a great inspiration to me, because it's only after coming to Australia I have started off thinking. I actually bought my first camera out here in Australia after coming here in Australia, because back home I couldn't afford it. To be honest.
Same here.
That's why I was just doing it.
As I already said, like even I learned by myself, my YouTube and myself. So I didn't have like all the knowledge, but like for now, like all the basics and everything as well.
Yeah.
You do like lots of photo shoot as well. You know how to use the lights, flash and everything as well.
So
you can apply for a job. Like, so in Australia, I work for so many companies. Like I work for Magic Memories, U Studio. I work for, what was that? A Scene to Believe. And some other companies I don't even remember now. But like I work for so many photography companies, and yeah, this is like, you can apply like, so every time I used to think like I will never made it even to the interview, but after getting my first job, I built a confidence and keep applying for the other jobs, and I start doing other jobs as well. Like it is fun. Like I think like, as I know you, you are more than capable of doing all the jobs that I have done in past.
I hope so, right? So I'm just trying to form actually my own business right now and have like a proper registered business. I've named it as lensgraphy as of now. So yeah, I'm trying to have my own photography. There is a lot to learn from me still. I'm very like in the beginner stage. I think I don't know if I could even call myself a semi-professional, or maybe I could, because I've done a few shoots now and I know a few things. But yeah, I'm only learning on the learning path, on the learning job. It's kind of, I'm at a point where I'm taking a major decision in life, because as you know, I'm a civil engineer. And
the same thing, I'm a software engineer.
Exactly.
By my professional, I'm software engineer, but I'm not working as software engineer or network engineer or anything. So
yeah, that's where you come and inspire me. That's where people like you come and inspire me, because whatever we've studied, somehow it has been because the way we have been brought up, the place where we grew up, because they're very much encouragement to actually go out and follow your passion, or encouragement to go out and do something else than just the normal jobs of engineering or being a doctor or a lawyer, So people like you always inspire me, and that's what I'm trying to do right now. Although I'm a civil engineer, I tried my best like for a year or more to find civil engineering jobs. I applied online, I networked with people, I went to different workshops and events, but nothing worked out. And out of the frustration, of not finding a job and not being able to do that, I thought I just have like 1.5 years left. Instead of thinking of that and not being able to do that, let's try out whatever I'm passionate about.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I'm actually not even sure right now. I have reached a level where I have to be sure, and I know that I'm going to do this. But there was a time, few months back, where I love photography. I love taking photos, but I don't know if that's my passion and if I want to do that for the rest of my life, But
Okay,
right now, mhm,
I can say you something like I can share my. So remember I said like when I went to holiday in Bali.
mhm,
So I was thinking about all. So when I was relaxing there, having chill beer at swimming pool, and I was
mhm,
thinking whole my life what I did. So I started my education.
mhm,
So I did bachelor's. So when I was studying like higher studies, I
mhm,
did computer science as a major subject. I was
mhm,
doing programming. Then I went to bachelor's and did uh, business or
mhm,
management. Yeah, I did bachelor's in business studies.
mhm,
And when I came to Australia, I did master's in information technology with
mhm,
software and networking. So this is my study thing, which is
mhm.
totally different. What I did
It was
every time
just a
it was
way
different.
to.
And my job. So when I started working, I was teaching like web designing,
Mm,
networking, graphic designing in like a computer thing. Then I started working as a graphic designer for 3 to 4 years. Then I came to Australia, work for in a kitchen as a demi chef. I
mhm,
reached the level to demi chef, worked for 4 years, and I started working as a photographer for a few years, and I
mhm,
started doing videography. So every time, so what I thought was like, so I studied something else. I
mhm,
studied I studied business, work, in Nepal and work as a graphic designer,
yeah,
and studied IT, working as a kitchen as a chef,
mhm,
and again doing photography thing. What I'm doing in life. Like I was like so unsure. Like I
mhm,
thought like if I have done like same thing in my whole life,
mhm,
maybe studied IT whole life, work in IT whole life, it would have been like so good. I might be like very professional,
mhm,
on that field. Then I had a second thought. Like then after thinking over and over and over, I have a
mhm.
second thought. This is you have one life. Why would you
Exactly.
do like same thing, like one thing in one life? Why don't you explore everything?
I'm the same.
So
Exactly.
now I was happy. Like I did graphic designing job.
Mm,
Even now, like if I have to work as a graphic designer, I can do that.
mhm,
If I have to work as a chef in any restaurant, any
mhm,
fine dine restaurant, I can do that. If I have to work as a photographer in any company, any sort of company, like anywhere in the world, I can do
mhm,
that. If I have to work as a videographer, I can do that. If I have to work as a content creator or editor, I can do that. So now I think doing lots of things makes you even more confident.
exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah, so I can even do like programming and everything. I can make apps, mobile applications, I can do
Mm,
softwares, I can work as network engineer, I can do anything, like, you know. So I think that builds up some confidence as well. So
mhm,
this doesn't mean like do everything,
yeah.
but at the time what you are thinking is best for you, do that thing.
Mhm,
If you think civil engineering, you
mm,
love civil engineering and doing working as a civil engineering at the time,
mm,
work as a civil engineering. You can work for 5 years as a civil engineering, and then after 5 years you can change your profession again. Doesn't matter. People do
yeah.
that all the time. It doesn't matter. Like if you studied civil engineering, then rest of the life you have to work as a civil engineer.
Of
It's
course
not
not.
the thing.
Yeah.
Or maybe if you work as a photographer now, it doesn't mean you have to work for as a photographer whole your life. You
Mm,
can change your profession whenever you want, whatever you want. You have one life. Do what you want
yeah.
now, what you makes you happy right now.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the kind of person I am. I have a lot of experience in a different field, and that's, as I said before. I have only 1.5 years left. I don't know. I might get a PR soon, so I'm happy about that. But this all started before all of that. Like when I had like 1.5 years left, and I don't know what's gonna happen after that. I thought, I've tried all of these things. Maybe just try and see what it feels like to do like photography and videography in a professional level, and see if I like that or not, and then I'll decide whatever happens after that. So it's always good to like take a risk, go out there, try it, because that's how you know. But there's always that, like self-doubt, as you say, like I've done this, I've studied so much. The other thing that I have from time to time right now is like how I see my friends out there, they are working, they are earning good money, whereas I'm trying to develop my own business here around
Hmm.
photography and videography, and I'm not getting paid right now for that. And that's always been bothering me, but somehow I have to tell myself that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. So although I don't have anything right now, although it's hard right now, I know that in future, if I keep on doing this, I will reach somewhere. So I just have to continue with that. Right now, actually, right now in the present state, I can't go back. I'm getting so much deep in. I'm getting deeper and deeper into this job, into having this business so much that I can't go back now. I have to go forward and in this field only. So hope it gets better. I hope someday I'll reach to your level.
Hopefully. Nah, you will be like above my level. Don't worry about that one. So one more thing, like I think like so priority always changes according to the time, you know.
Yeah.
So when I first came to Australia, my first priority was how to get enough money to pay my bills and uni fees. Then when I finished uni and everything, you know, so my wife was studying and I came here as a dependent anyway. So when her study finished, then my second priority was, okay, what career I want to do now? What career I want to build now? So I quit my job and started doing photography and videography. So after we finished our visa, you know, then I never prioritized for permanent residency or anything, because when I was working in kitchen, because I was already worked for like 3 to 4 years in kitchen as a demi chef, and I could have easily like skill assessed in that field because of my experience, and also I could have easily got like permanent residency from cookery job because they were happy
good chances
to,
for that.
sponsor me. No, they were happy to sponsor me, but like
Okay.
I told to my head chef at the time, I said, I know like whenever I worked in the kitchen, I really loved working in the kitchen, but now I want to change my career. I don't want to work in a kitchen anymore. So I said him like, if I leave the job as a chef here in this kitchen, in my whole life, I don't think I will work in a kitchen anymore. I will work like maybe some other profession, but not in the kitchen, because I want to keep that memory, you know, as a good memory, and never again work in the kitchen, because I don't want to. I already had like enough with the kitchen, but like I really enjoyed when I was working in the kitchen as well. Even at some point, I already thought like, okay, in future maybe when I have money, I will even open a restaurant or something like that in Australia. So I even reached that level, but like somehow like in my inner mind, I always have like photography and videography. So I don't even care about permanent resident or anything, because at the time when my wife finished her study, if I have moved to Tasmania or some regional areas, then now I might have like PR as well. But I never prioritized being a PR at the time. So that time I always focus on my career. Like I wanted to be a photographer and videographer. That's what important right now. We will see whatever happens later. We'll see that. And then after, when we finish our visa, then one of us have to study again, because we have to have a visa to stay here. So that's how I studied. I tried to study filmmaking, but like, so they were asking like too many questions. I had like 2 days left for my visa, and they were asking like millions of questions, and I didn't have a choice. So I have to study masters in IT. So that's how, like, I think you should know like what you are prioritizing. You said like your friends are earning lots of money. So you want to make a career as a photographer, you want to gain experience as a photographer, or you want to earn money? Because earning money in Australia, like if you work in any field, you will earn money. That's not a big deal, you know. But like making a career in certain field is difficult. So you have to, you should know like what you are prioritizing, like what's your first priorities. You should always know that.
Yeah, makes sense. I always have a habit of doing that, actually prioritizing things. As you said, my story is kind of similar, you know, like I was so much into PR and stuff. The main reason why I was trying to find an engineering job was because I think it somehow helped to get the PR. And when I decided that I don't like, PR is an important thing. If you want to live here, if you want to do anything, it is an important thing, but it is not everything, you know. There are other things you should spend your time for, you know. And that's what I did. I prioritized that, okay, I'll just do this thing, photography and videography. I try to form a business around it. I'll work as a photographer and see what it feels like. PR and stuff, I don't know, I'll just manage. If I don't get after 1.5 years, I'll maybe study again. I'll do something else, you know. So it's a problem for most of us out here, like international students, because PR is, as I said, it is an important thing and you should work on that. But that's not the only thing. You should also be able to realize that.
Yeah. So that's why I say, like, what's your priorities, you know?
Hmm.
Okay, I think too much about like this thing. So how is your movie going?
Nah, that's the thing, bro. This is the podcast. We can talk about everything about my movie.
So
First of all, thank you very much for being the cinematographer for my movie. Like, you
no
know, like
worries, man.
you
My
were
pleasure.
working in the professional level. You were actually taking money. You were getting paid to like do movies like that, but you did that for us for free. So thank you very much for that again.
No, that's all good, man.
Thank you.
I'm always like, so this is my passion, you know.
Mm,
I don't care like if someone is paying me or not, but like if I see someone like very passionate about like photography or videography, I always do for them. Like I have done like so many portrait videos, you know,
mm,
everything. Like I most of the videos, like I don't even charge people. Like if
mm.
someone is like passionate about learning things, I'm always happy to help, you know.
Yeah, that's nice to know, man. That's a very humble thing about you, and that's something I've learned from you a lot. And I will try my best to do the same, you know, like for anyone who's new, who's trying to like learn, I'll always try to help them. I'll always try to give them whatever information I can with what I know as of now. But that's a great thing about you, that it's something that I love about you a lot. Like you love to help people. So about our movie, actually, I've applied for it in like a few film festivals. I'm running it to few film festivals. It has been selected in Focus on Ability film festivals. So it's coming
Nice.
out in 19th of August. That's like for a 1 week frame, and you can vote for that movie online too. So
100% I'm
I
going
would
to
be
vote
running a
that.
campaign. Actually, I will be running a campaign for like a whole
Yeah,
week.
nice. You
I
should do
actually
that.
I have been able to like make few contacts, and let's see if it's possible. But we might be able to post it through some famous groups in Nepal and back here.
Yeah, yeah,
And yeah, hope we could win something out of it.
yeah, yeah, 100%. I think so when you first narrated me the story of that movie, I
Mm.
really loved the concept, you know. So that's how I was like, because I wasn't, I think, actually going to do the cinematography. I was
Uh,
just going to help. Then I thought like, no, no, I should do this.
yeah, that's what it was. Actually, that was the plan, right? You would only provide us
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the gears
I
and
was
we'll
just
do
provide my
everything.
gears and everything only,
Yeah, that was the first plan.
but I end up doing it. But that was fun. Like,
Yeah, bro, that was fun. Thank you very much for that, because that's somehow is like a milestone for me somehow. You know, like being a filmmaker. You know, that's like my first movie, and it's although there are a lot of mistakes. I know that, and I could improve a lot now, but it's like a proper movie. You know, like it's like a proper movie. There is proper settings, there is proper direction, there is proper planning and everything. So it was a great experience for me, bro. Like first movie, great experience, a lot to learn more. How about you? What are you doing with your filmmaking right now? I can see the guild at the background.
yeah. So this one I put it here
Uh-huh.
for promotion as well. Like I'm just being a bit like, you know,
Of
just
course,
for
we always
promotion.
promote
So
good
this
things.
is so I just finished shooting this movie like Guild,
Mm-hmm.
uh, which is in a production phase now.
Mm-hmm.
So post production, hopefully it will be finished in few months time. And same thing with the movie. Like I will try to submit it in few film
Mm-hmm.
festivals, and let's see how it goes.
So
So it
what is
was
it
fun, yeah.
about? What is it about? What's the movie like?
So in one line, if I have to narrate the story, it
Mm-hmm.
is about the guy who makes a mistake
Mm-hmm.
accidentally
Mm-hmm.
and feels guilty about his mistake.
Mm-hmm.
And because of his guilt, every time he saws that person,
Mm-hmm.
he's always running out of that one, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
he's mentally stressed about from his guilt and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, he realizes like, so he was feeling guilty, but the other person didn't even know about the mistake was
Mm-hmm.
happened. That's the whole like theme of the story.
That's nice, bro. Do you remember the story we used to have in Nepali book, Doshi Chasma?
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's
Somehow,
similar to that,
yeah,
right?
similar. Yeah.
Yeah,
So same
okay.
thing,
Nah.
like, you know. So
Uh-huh.
one in Dosi Chasma as well, like that guy forgets to do salam or something like that,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and then he
It's
keeps on
because of
thinking, okay, they might be angry, I might lose my job and everything. So same thing, like, you know, uh,
Mm.
that is what it is. Like, I think people shouldn't be overthinking. Like, if you do a mistake, just go and say, or
Yeah.
maybe just
You
go and
learn from
confess.
it.
Don't
Yeah.
just get a mental problem because
Because
of
of
a
that,
small mistake.
yeah.
That's the main theme. Like, getting mentally, you know, don't
Mm-hmm.
overthink. Like, that's the message from the movie. Like,
That's good
don't
to know, man.
overthink and feel guilty or feel something like that. Just go confess or find out what's happened. So just be free.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure it would have
So
a
yeah,
lot of
my plan
impact.
is to make lots of movies. Like I wanted to make like at least 2 to 3 movies every year.
Mm.
So I have few projects as well, like pending because of the COVID.
Mm-mm.
So we are making one movie in Sydney
Okay.
and one in Canberra again,
Uh-huh.
but like because of the pandemic,
Yeah,
so I
pandemic has
couldn't
fucked up
travel.
everything.
So everything is stopped right now.
Mm.
Hopefully everything will be normal after vaccination, and we could be back at making movies again, making music videos.
Mm. Yeah. Hope it opens up soon, man, because it's already been here. Actually, it's already been like 1.5 months, about 7, 8 weeks, and we don't know how much longer it's gonna last. Like for me, it's not a big deal because I've been getting like government grants, and that's like more than enough for me, and I can work out my life. But for people who are there with the businesses that have been shut down, it's very hard for them. It's very hard on them.
It is, it is.
Mm.
But I think with Australia, like I think they're really doing a great job right
They
now.
are doing a
So they
very
are
good job.
providing like lots of money for everyone. They're paying businesses, they're paying to even students right now. Like
Mm.
when I think first year, like they did pay to international students, but right now they are doing a great job, I guess. I
Yeah.
think we should thanks to the government.
It's like I've always said this. I love this country in a lot of sense, like especially compared to back to where I come from, like where we come from, like compared to that, like I love the government system out there. All the people have problems with how the system is being run right now. I'm kind of satisfied with whatever I'm getting, whatever I'm having. It's a
Yeah, I
great
know. Like,
place to be.
so lots of people ask me, like, okay, why do you leave your country? You don't love your country, and blah blah blah.
Mm.
Yeah, well, of course we love our country, but
We
we
love
have to
ourselves
think about
more.
the future, think about our upcoming, like our childrens and everything. We should think about their future,
Mm-hmm.
where it is better, like for them, it's in Nepal or here. So we have to think about them as well right now, not just for
Of course, of
ourselves.
course.
Like, so if you ask me, like, when I think went back in Nepal like in 2017 for
Mm.
a month, it was like so bad. Like all the roads were dusty.
Mm.
The dust was like there was smokes everywhere,
I
dust
couldn't.
everywhere. There was a construction going on like on the road anyway,
Uh,
highway, Tribhuvan highway and everywhere. I can understand that, but like it was dusty everywhere. Like you will see the clouds of like
dust and
dust
everything.
everywhere. And one incident, like, so I was using public transportation.
Mm.
You can't even use the public transportation properly. Like I
Yeah.
was trying to get the taxi, and the taxi was saying like, I told him like I will pay you 5 times of what the fare is, but
Uh,
still he says I don't want to go that way. I was like, are you serious? I'm paying you 5 times of what
uh,
you normally charge, and
mm.
you are saying you don't want to go that way
Because of the
because
construction.
because of the traffic or things.
Uh,
So
yeah.
this is what I don't like about Nepal. Like everything is like on managed. People doesn't even care about others.
Mm.
So here, like, you just pay whatever location you have said, they will just take
It's
you there. Like
systematic. It's managed,
no question
organized.
asked. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You can actually give review to each and every Uber driver or cab
Mm.
driver, so that if they do something wrong, then people know like, okay,
Know about it.
this has a
Yeah.
low rating, must be for some reason. You can actually make complaint. But back in Nepal, you can't even complain him.
Uh,
It doesn't even matter. Like it doesn't even
yeah.
matters. Like
I don't know when it's gonna change. Like we need to understand that it's the people who has the power. Like even in terms of government, even in terms of transportation, everything. Like people have power. Like just take basic example. Like every festive season in Dasa and Tihar, the prices of transport doubles or triples, and people are
yeah, I
still
know.
ready to pay that. People need to understand
Yeah,
that
I
if you
know.
don't pay that, they won't have a job and they will have to decrease their price. But somehow people haven't realized out there that it's the people who have the power.
Yeah, yeah. And people are stupid as well. Like won't say stupid, but like they are. They are.
Yeah, but
It is what it is.
like,
So that's the
yeah,
same thing. Like, so you have a vehicle,
mm,
it's overloaded, but you still hang there and still
you
travel.
go, you travel, you go,
Yeah, yeah. I know. It doesn't. No one is forcing you to go, but you still go there.
you still go.
Just imagine, like, if people say no, then I don't think anyone will force to them. And the other thing, what I was going to say, I just forgot. Like, yeah, somehow
Mm,
it is bit changing as well. Like, the ride sharing app like Pathao,
It is.
and I don't know, so Total
Total,
something.
something like that.
So because of them, somehow it is more convenience now to travel, I think.
Yeah,
I
of
think
course.
they should make like such a things like even more, I think government should support those companies
Mm.
and try to like make everything like what do you call it,
Much
like
easier for people,
much easier and judgeable. Like you can see like
Mm.
if someone is doing wrong, then that must be like rated or something, maybe given some notice or
Yeah.
something like.
We can talk about
If
this
that thing
all
doesn't
day
happen,
long.
then
We can talk
yeah,
about
yeah,
this
yeah.
all day long. Things that are wrong in our country, we can talk about it all day long. Yeah, but that's the situation. Whatever it is, we're here, we're doing our best. It's not like we don't love our country. We do love our country,
No, no,
but
we love our country, of
we
course.
love ourselves more, and we also need to think about our own future and what we're going to do. It's being selfish. I agree to people. I will say directly that I'm being selfish, and think whatever you want, but I have to be selfish myself because, again, it's one life. I have
Yeah,
to
yeah,
do things. I can't just be limited just because I'm patriotic or someone has given me that boundary of you're a patriot. Because my grandfather, he was a patriot. He was like one of the freedom fighters back in like 100 years back. He was one of the freedom fighters out there fighting for the country. He spent his whole life without even caring about his family. He dedicated his whole life to the country. But as I see now, what happened after doing all that? Maybe some people out there would know it, or some people will respect him for that. But what happened to his family? No one would know that. Only we know that. And as I can see, he actually ignored his family for his country. I can't do that. I can't do that. Like, I love my country, but I'm selfish. I need to think about myself. I need to think about my family, because until and unless I can be stable myself, until and unless I'm in a position to do something out there, it's no use just being in that country. And if you're not able, being in that country, living in the country doesn't mean you're a patriot or you're doing something for the country. I don't believe in that. Only unless you are able to do something. I think it's first you have to be able to do things to make an impact, and that's when you try and go back and give back to the country. I believe in that, and that's what I'm trying to do right now. Let's see how it goes.
yeah.
What happens.
I think to do something for your country, you don't have to be in a country. Like, so we
Yeah.
are making music videos, so mostly we are making Nepalese music videos,
Exactly.
Nepali short films and everything, which is like contributing to our country as well. We are spreading our culture from Australia as well. I think we are doing something for our country. So yeah, fighting for the country doesn't, like joining an army doesn't
Yeah.
makes you patriotic, So doing
Exactly.
something like this, like entertaining, spreading your culture, language and everything also like matters, I think.
Whatever you're doing, do it your best, in your best form, give your 100%. Even back in the country, whoever is there, instead of like looking at others, and if they only try to do what they are best at, what they are good at, and do it ethically, I think everything will fall back in line or fall back to place. It doesn't have to be that you have to join the army to serve the country. You can do it by doing what you do best,
Yeah, true.
All right, bro. I think it's already more than an hour we've been talking.
Yeah, I think so.
It was great to have you here. Thank you very much for coming again. You're one of the persons who have inspired me a lot. You have been a mentor to me. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for not only here right now, but overall, whatever time you have given to me. Thank you very much, Rakesh bhai.
Thank you so much. So for everyone, please go to
Guilt.
Yeah, subscribe my YouTube channel.
Sure.
I think he will put a link.
I'll put everything in the
bio
descriptions below. I'll put everything in the link.
And I'll send you the link of that movie that I did, like first movie. It's very funny. Watch it.
Yeah, I'll watch
it. Meant
that.
to be serious. It meant to be a very serious movie, but it turned up like a funny movie. So watch it.
Sure,
find,
I love it.
Maybe 1,000 mistakes on that one.
Sure. It will be fun to watch that. All right then, Rakesh bhai. I'll see you soon.
Have a good one. See you soon.
Bye. If you like this video, hit subscribe. You can listen to the full podcast in YouTube, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify.